your team news for the weekend, first of all?
We're in pretty good shape. We've just got one issue that's from international duty, and Renato Sanchez is a big doubt for the weekend. He picked up a minor thigh strain while training for Portugal, which looks like it will rule him out for this weekend. We're not 100% sure yet. He had a second scan today and we're waiting for further news. Kyle Bartley's a medium-term injury, so still out. Apart from that, everyone else is fit and available.
Big blow to lose Renato potentially for the weekend?
It'd be disappointing, the fact that with each game that he's played for us, he's improved. His fitness is improving, but it'll be a short-term injury. So I think if he does miss this weekend, it'll be highly probable he'll be available for next weekend.
Did the international break come at a good time for Swansea, in your opinion?
Well, two ways of looking at that really. The first is going into an international break. If you lose that game on the weekend, you know you're not going to play again for 2 weeks, so it can be in your mind for quite a long time. Sometimes it's better to have another game quickly and you can put that aside and move on. But at the same time, I had the majority of the squad remained here in Swansea, so I was training with 15 outfield players and a goalkeeper throughout the time during international break. So that's a good sized group. I've been at clubs in the past when you're left with maybe 2 or 3 players and there's very little work that you can do. So we did some good training sessions. I was very pleased with the work we did last week, and also what we've completed this week so far. Everyone's back now, and we had a good session today.
3 of the next 4 league games are at home. How crucial a period do you see this?
It's important, no question about it. We managed to pick up some valuable points away from home. Our form and our results at home have been disappointing. We're all in agreement that we need to start playing better, particularly at home. But I also think the fact that the margin of the losses that we've had have been very close. We lost by a goal to West Ham away from home. We lost by a goal to Watford. Both those goals, West Ham and Watford, were in the last minutes. The loss against Newcastle by 1 goal. And I think the fact that we've not played particularly well, but the margin of the results have been very, very tight. I think that's a sign we have to look at positively, that if we can turn the corner and start performing better and start playing better, I'm sure the results will follow. And we've got that feeling through amongst the technical staff and through the playing squad as well.
Is Huddersfield next? Have they surprised you the way they've started?
Well, I think when a team comes up from the Championship and it's their first experience of Premier League football, that you can have that that excitement and you play without fear. And they picked up, they had 2 wins in their first 2 games and then they had a draw. But since then, they found things more difficult. They had a heavy loss against Tottenham, some other draws. I think they did start very well the first 3 games, but they've plateaued a little bit, and I'm sure that they're going to be wanting to come to us and get a positive result. We expect a tough game. All the games are tough, home or away, against teams in the top of the table, teams lower down. But we feel optimistic that our form is going to change. We've worked at some things the last couple of weeks, since the West Ham loss, both in the video room but mainly on the training field. And the players have responded very well to what we've been doing.
In the away dugout will be David Wagner. Seems quite a big personality. What do you make of him and how impressive he is with what he's done?
Well, any manager that manages to get their team from the Championship into the Premier League has done really well. I watched a little bit of them last season, and they play a nice style of football. You can see that they've been coached, and this season as well, you have to say well done to them for the start they had in the first 3 games. He's done well.
You said you worked with 15 outfield players in the international break. Did you detect any of the players or a general mood low confidence or low morale? Do you have to do anything to lift them, or what was the mood like with them?
We always speak honestly about the point that we're at and how we're playing, reflect honestly in video sessions and in group sessions, one-to-one. So the players are very much on board with that. We have to start performing better. What we've done so far is in certain games we've defended really well. In other games we might have attacked not bad in the first half and not so well in the second half, or struggled a little bit with the final ball to create really good opportunities. So there's certainly not doom and gloom around the place. I think that if you're playing well and getting hammered, or you're not playing well and you're getting hammered, it would be different. But the fact is the score lines have been very close. We know we can play a lot better, and when we start playing better, I have no doubt that we're going to start getting results.
The supporters at the Liberty on Saturday will not only be Swansea fans, but there'll be Wales fans as well. Is it perhaps a way that you can lift not only Swansea fan spirits, but the nation's spirits as well after what happened during the week?
Oh, I am. Obviously, I'm hoping that we can first of all play well, and then that's going to lift the spirits of our own home crowd, and I'm sure they'll really get behind us. I watched the game the other night, Wales v Northern Ireland. The atmosphere, I mean, without being there, you don't normally get a sense of what the atmosphere is like through the TV, but the atmosphere sounded absolutely electric. And, you know, I know from my time here at Swansea as well that we have a fantastic, passionate set of supporters. And I'm hoping that they're really going to try and help to get behind the team, because it is a massive help. You know, the 12th man, to lift the players' spirits, to find that little bit of extra out of them when they're really, really tired, particularly at the end of games. But I also understand that it's easier for our supporters to get behind the team if they're seeing something that they approve. So I think, you know, on reflection, summarising that is that, you know, we're going to do our very best to make sure that the fans are enjoying what they're watching. But at the same time, if they see our players and our team struggling a little bit, I'd hope that they'd be able to get behind us and help us, particularly in difficult moments.
Just final one from me, and it's to do with the game that will kick off before you guys kick off. I'm sure you won't be able to watch it. Liverpool against Manchester United. Just growing up, was that a fixture that you'd make time to watch, or make time to watch even now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's been so many good ones over the years. You know, battles between those two clubs, both in Manchester and in Liverpool. Great tradition between the two clubs. You know, the two clubs that have won the most trophies in English football, going right back many years. So I'll try and see some of that if I can. I always like to see that game. You know, it's up there with, you know, Barcelona, Real Madrid, that rivalry, no question.
Paul, you've talked about the home record and the fans trying to get behind you at home. As you haven't won, would it be a relief to finally get something on the board in front of your own fans?
Relief. That'd be when you win any game at this level. It's a very satisfying feeling. I and the players feel really disappointed that we've not managed to get anything in our home games. And when you look back to last season, both when I came into the club and also at the end of the season, you know, we made the Liberty a really difficult place for other teams to come and picked up some fantastic results. It's strange why it's gone the other way this season. Now I know that there's a lot of things that we have to work on, and we have been working at those things. And I think when myself and the players, we start putting it all together, that the good results are going to come.
Because home form is the basis, isn't it, for a successful season? It's your bread and butter.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off you when you go away, and when you go away and you pick up a win like we did at Crystal Palace, or a draw like we did when we went to Tottenham and Southampton, you start seeing much healthier position in the league table if you are winning your games at home.
Because you've had the troubles you've had, some people have already started to write you off and say it's going to be a season fighting relegation. Is it too early to say it's a relegation battle?
Yeah, much too early. Last season when I was here, they were writing us off. When I first arrived at the club, they were writing us off when there was 5 games to go. You know, it was between us and Hull. You see the media and the pundits saying Swansea are down, Hull are going to stay up, and it made no difference to us. We knew what we had to do, and we know what we have to do now. And a couple of good results, you know, a win and a draw, or back-to-back wins, and you know, everything looks totally different.
Do you relish that challenge though, when people are dismissing you, if you like?
No, not really. It does. I don't really take much notice of it. I focus all my efforts on working with the players that I've got and trying to get the best out of them individually and as a team. And I also spend time looking at the opposition, about where their strengths are and where their weaknesses are, and how we can play to try and have the best chance of winning games. You know, that's what I have to focus my time on.
David Wagner, you've talked about a little bit already. Is he someone that you have come across when he was involved at Dortmund? Did you cross paths?
I've never met him, and I'm not actually sure whether it was the case that when he was at Dortmund I would have come across him. So I've not met, but I look forward to, like with all the managers, whether I've played against them before or whether it's the first time, I always look forward to coming up against the other coaches and their teams.
Nathan Dyer back in full training. How long is it going to take him to get back to where he was? Because he's been out for such a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long absence for him. He's been very professional through a very difficult injury. You know, you can recover quicker from a broken leg or even a ACL injury than from a torn Achilles. So it's been a long road for him. He's been very professional, very dedicated. He's played a couple of games at under 23 level. So as far as I'm concerned, he's ready and available for selection. But I think it would be difficult for him to play 90 minutes at this level at the moment. It's still step by step.
You've got to ease him back into it. You don't want to risk it setting him back, do you?
I don't think it's necessarily about a setback now. The Achilles is strong, physically is strong. It's more about the intensity now of the football at this level, whether he could cope with that and how long he could cope for it for.
And if he can get back to full fitness and back to the level that certainly Swansea fans know he's capable of, he can be an extra dimension for you when you're trying to find the solution to score more goals. Yeah,
and he is something that without him in the team, he brings another dynamic, because he is someone that is still quick. He can run with the ball. He can dribble and he can beat players, and he's going to be an important part of the going forward and absolutely creating and scoring goals.
Wilfred Boney came off obviously at half-time in the West Ham game, travelled with the Ivory Coast. Is he okay for Saturday?
We're monitoring Wilfred closely. He rejoined training today. I haven't seen him since training finished, but we'll have to assess him today when I get back across there, have a look at him, and also tomorrow and see how he is. So
potentially doubtful for the weekend?
I would say Wilfred's 50-50 for a start.
Okay. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Well, you were saying about the conversations that have been going on between you and the players, and you're obviously all singing from the same hymn sheet, and that you want to turn things around. You have mentioned before about the gelling together of new recruits with people you've had here from some period of time. From the attitude you've seen from them over these last couple of weeks, is this a team who, yes, they'll fight to stay out of the bottom three, but that's about it? Or are you seeing more from them than that in terms of their intent and their mental attitude?
I think this is a team that's going to get better and better as the season goes on. I think that's normal. We had more changes than I would have envisaged at the start, or at the end of last season, but that's the way it worked out. We've got some players that have not played so regular the last year, and I talk about Wilfred in that, and also Renato as well. And when you've got that situation, plus 4 or 5 other new players, it's going to take a little bit of time to integrate them all into the team, the way we play with their teammates. So I expect a improvement in the team and the performances as we go. maybe it will be the case, and I'm confident it will be the case, that we'll be better in the second half of the season than the first. But still important to play well and pick up points in this period, because you don't want a situation that the club were in last season, where it's 12 points at the halfway point and things are looking not very encouraging. We want to get as many points on the board as possible in the first half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, take that as read. But I wonder, from the time you've spent with them now, both the people who've been here for a while and the new recruits, are they the sort of players though that perhaps respond better when there's a bit of jeopardy hanging over them?
Well, we'll see. I don't know the answer to that. It's a different dynamic to what we had last year. I thought last year the group were very generous in their work, and they sacrificed a lot to give their best for the team. I'm learning more about this group, and we're working hard, myself and the other staff, to have a positive impact on the way that they train, the way that they give their best for the team, and I see it improving day by day.
Is there a point though where your patience will run out, or could run out, and have you set yourself a mental sort of deadline there at all?
What, and then throw a cup of tea or something? Get someone round the throat? No, it's like the supporters and like some of our players, I've been frustrated with some of the performances and also the results. That's normal. We're professional, we've got high standards, and we want to be successful, and we want to do well for our club. We're all working hard and with a very focused attitude and a determined attitude to improve.
Just wondering whether Mr. Ancelotti is going to be paying a visit to Swansea at any point. I mean, you looking for his...
He said he will. I spoke to him and he said, I'm going to come and see you. I don't know when that's going to be, but I'll look forward to having him here and spending some time here at the training ground and watching us play.
Yeah, obviously you're the man in charge here, but he's a man with huge amounts of experience because of the way things have been, albeit they have been very small margins. Is his wisdom something that you've called on in the last couple of weeks?
No, I've left him to, when you lose your job, it's always a very hard period, and I did speak to him the day of it, but I've left him to, I'm sure he's just got away and enjoyed a bit of time just to reflect a little bit and get a break from football. But like I said, I look forward to him coming over here, and when he does, we'll have plenty of time to catch up about things that have happened.
The $64,000 question that a lot of Swansea fans are going to be asking is Leon Britton going to start at the weekend?
He's available for selection. There's a lot of competition in midfield. Even with Renato not available for this weekend, I still have the possibility to pick from 6 midfielders, and that's without revealing my hand whether we're going to play with 2 central midfielders or 3. So he is available, he's fit, he's been training well, and all the fans will have to see what happens on Saturday.
You do have those resources at your disposal, but can that be a double-edged sword sometimes, in the fact that perhaps it makes it harder to decide on what's going to be a settled team, or sometimes the old adage, isn't it, it's more isn't necessarily better, sometimes it's just more.
That's a good point. As a coach, it's good to have options, of course, but yeah, you can have too many. I think the fact is it has created a lot of competition in midfield, and what I'm saying to the players is this is healthy, and what you need to do is to show every day in training and every opportunity that you get on the field that you merit that place, and that for me is a healthy thing.
It doesn't give you a headache in terms of, right, okay,
No, of course. I have headaches all the time with the tactics and the team I should pick and who should be on the bench, and even more difficult is who should not be even in the 18. So that's part of the job.
Wish you the very best.
Thank you. Thanks, thank you.